Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our everlasting video. I am Kintija, one of the founders of the company, and this is Monika. She's the face of the company, you've probably seen her around, and the artist, and both of us together run the company. Today we're going to take you on a journey.
Yes. Well, initially I decided I like lashes a lot, so Kintija taught me how to apply lash extensions, and we worked for maybe 2 years doing clients, like really actively working really hard, and in the process we realized that there's actually something else that we could potentially work on, something that didn't exist. So two of us studying ended up spending all the money that we earned towards a project that we believed could be really successful and beneficial for the market.
Yeah, two broke students, as you once put it.
Remember those times? We were working certain days until like 11 or midnight, doing clients, testing the samples, spending absolutely all our money on product development.
I got into the beauty industry literally by an accident. I was a university student studying marketing, and I needed something part-time to get by in London. It felt like a good choice for me, but at the time I didn't see it as my career. I must say, I didn't see it as my career. And I met Monika because she came in as a client, and she kept coming in, and we used to just discuss things, and from there it really developed and evolved, and we became friends. First of all, friends, I'd say.
Yeah. And it was by accident that I met you, because my regular beauty therapist that used to do my lashes was actually on holiday, and I was such a lash addict that I couldn't last 2 weeks without a lash infill. I was really literally coming like every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Kintija. And then I actually realized that potentially this is something that I could be doing. The beauty industry, which made me feel instantly better, could make other people feel instantly better, and was much easier and much more happy industry than what I was really studying for.
Well, I guess in time you realize that lashes can also be a good part-time solution for yourself, right?
Absolutely. It was an easy job. I could do the hours that I wanted while I was studying.
Fit it around your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when I taught Monika how to do the services. And from there, she also became a therapist. Both of us were working together. We complement each other and balance each other out. And it's a good thing to have, and apparently it's a rare thing to have, and yeah, but we managed.
Thank God I was a lash addict.
I think what really helped us in the business is that both of us have this outside of the box thinking, and it's something that we have utilized a lot, and it's something that allowed us to innovate the industry. And this is where we began thinking about possibilities of what other services out there are just lacking or aren't available just yet. And we came to an idea of sleek brows, 3D brow building, and purely because we had a lot of lash clients that really didn't have good eyebrows or were complaining about their eyebrows. So it just felt as like a natural thing for us to work on. And both of us were excited about innovation. We invested into this crazy idea that most people didn't understand, our families didn't understand, partners and so on, and it just, I felt like at the time it was just the two of us that really believed in it.
Absolutely, but that is all you need. We completely innovated the industry. So like Kintija said, while we were very busy doing lashes for our clients, we realized that a lot of them were leaving the salon very happy with really beautiful looking eyes. However, the eyebrows were not a perfect match. And the only solution at the time was regular tinting, daily makeup, or not so pretty permanent makeup at the time.
Very blocky permanent makeup, right?
Really rather horrible looking.
Dark, blocky, not even good.
So what we
shapes,
wanted to do, we came up with an idea that perhaps we could do eyelash extensions or eyebrow extensions for the eyebrows. Except the main problem was that obviously the extensions would only work for the people that had enough eyebrows. And what to do with people that did not have enough? We wanted to create something that would look realistic, be non-invasive, however last longer than regular tinting or daily makeup.
And mimics that hair effect on the skin. Something that looks realistic and also feels a bit realistic.
Texture, absolutely.
Texture is important.
we started contacting different companies and laboratories to see if they can create such product for us. So the beginning was difficult. Product development issues were as simple as not being able to explain verbally what you need, because we don't speak chemistry. We don't speak solutions and product bonding and polymers. We don't have such knowledge, so we were explaining things in very lame terms, and so it took us a while to get the right product and figure out how to apply it, what are the correct procedure steps. But
in all honesty, it took us literally 2 years in the making, didn't it?
It did.
From 2011 to 2013, we were planning this whole idea of the eyebrows, and both of us with the entrepreneurial thinking, it definitely, paid off.
It did, but we needed to kind of almost keep it a secret and not disclose how much money we spent on the product development and the samples, because they weren't cheap. To get someone to work with you on like an individual basis when you're not really buying large quantities but just investing in a product prototype, it was hard, and then we needed to find the time and also the family and friends guinea pigs to test it on and test it on ourselves.
Yeah.
But 2 years in the making now feels like such a long time ago, and in my head, because obviously it's been now almost 10 years ago, it feels like it wasn't such an effort, but it was.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't. You feel like it was an effort because you are actually passionate about the industry and you wanted to see where it's going to take you and what can we create. You always look at the bigger pictures, like what can we do with this, and I think that's what keeps you going. And I just remember us posting that little glimpse of what we're doing on social media, and the social media just completely exploded. It went wild. We started getting requests of when you're coming to Australia, when you're coming to US, when you're coming to Middle East, and we're like, oh my God, let's take this down, because we have nothing ready. It was just like a little, we were curious.
Treatment, before and after picture, and the whole world went mad, so we knew we were on the right track.
Yeah, so we deleted that picture real quick because we're like, oh no, bigger companies are going to steal our idea. and we took a step back. We took a step back and we removed that image and decided to keep it a secret until we actually ready to fully launch.
And that's how I think when we launched, it became almost like an overnight success, because that product was really needed on the market. Nobody had a similar product. It was a great product and treatment, not only in terms of actually restoring the look of your eyebrows immediately, but also had healing, or rather helping the eyebrows to grow. So people could feel better about their eyebrows in a space of 3 or 6 months later when they decide not to have the treatment again. So it was really, it had a feel-good factor about it.
And it definitely kicked off our journey as well in the industry.
Completely. We became internationally recognized very, very quickly. We started traveling, delivering our trainings and services across the globe.
So we were jet-setting all across the world. We ended up in Hong Kong.
Right. Because we wanted to spy on the Asian market. We wanted to just see if they perhaps trying to copy our product already. And no, they didn't copy our product at that time. But we discovered something else there. We discovered
microblading.
Yes, a form of microblading. And we decided to take our class there just to see what it is about and to be able to tell our students about other possibilities across the globe. So there wasn't much interest in it for us initially, because the microblading industry at the time, it was just really being born and it wasn't as good as what we have it. So when I took my first permanent makeup class in 2007, it really was awful. Like, remember those huge, bold, blue eyebrows?
That people instantly regretted?
Yeah, the ones that look like a prison tattoo. It's really, really horrible, awful things. They were ugly and disgusting. So, as you can imagine, me being a perfectionist and also obviously knowing what looks good and what doesn't, I didn't continue with it. So, about the same time I kind of met you, and then we started developing sleek brows. And then we discovered microblading in Hong Kong was already much better because hairs started looking like hairs.
The idea was good.
But then when we started looking into the product and what's available on the market for microblading, we realized that the market was also awfully equipped. The needles were only one size and you couldn't create variety of different diameters.
Pigments unstable.
Pigments unstable and toxic. Unsterile products that are not safe or carcinogenic, horrible, awful things.
Yeah, whatever bad you can think of them, pretty much they were all bottled up into a pigment.
Everything that was possibly bad was available. But we were kind of inspired by the microblading. But when we came back to Europe, we were still very busy with sleek brows. And we didn't think, or perhaps we felt we don't have time to involve microblading in our business at the time. However, the need
more and more
to fix
of artists emerging, and the work wasn't good as of now.
We are on a mission to fix the planet, to really fix the beauty industry and make it better. And when we started seeing the microblading and artists emerging and doing really bad job.
Oh, you get that feeling inside and it irritates you and you're like, oh my God, I gotta help them. I really gotta help them.
Yes, and we knew we could help them. So
because we already had award-winning education in 2014.
We did.
So we won award for best education in beauty industry. And we knew that we can take this concept and we can make it great because the idea behind is good. It's permanent makeup that looks natural, that looks like hair, except it wasn't really doing the job at that time that it was supposed to do. So you sort of get this advertisement of this amazing thing that you're going to get, but you don't get it. But we knew that we can help people and artists out there to really achieve their best potential.
So we really wanted to do things properly. Therefore, we attended so many different classes with variety of famous brands and some of the really, really good therapists and trainers to learn more, to be better artists and be a better product developer.
And also because we understood that with sleek brows, we can correct the eyebrows for a limited amount of time, but it feels like we're not really taking on the issue from the very root. Because the bad permanent makeup exists, and like, how do we fix that?
So we wanted to eliminate bad permanent makeup. We wanted to do permanent makeup that always looks good, or if it no longer looks good, we want it to basically disappear. Because nobody needs bad permanent makeup. Who needs it? They need to cover it up, right? So we were learning so much, and a lot of the information was useful. However, some of it was completely confusing. I remember I actually started feeling a bit silly.
Yeah, the beginning was really like witchcraft, wasn't it?
Yes, it started with all the theories that apparently people are different types. Some are a warm type, some are a cool type.
I'm the warm type, right?
You're the spring, summer, autumn and winter all in one. And in order to be able to determine what kind of person you are, we needed to look inside each other's eye, like really deep, pull the lip out and look inside the teeth, try to determine the color of the veins, and that was apparently helping you to figure out what the color will turn to in a space of a few months. So if, let's say, you were a cool type and I applied brown eyebrows, no matter how hard I worked, you would always end up with gray eyebrows later on. And that's something that we didn't like. So in order to...
I guess you started questioning your intelligence, didn't you?
Completely, because I couldn't figure it out. The person that I felt will be a warm type, in the end healed to be cool. And the trainers were giving always...
a mixed information.
Very mixed information. So I would have a client come through the door and then the trainer says, don't look at her colored hair, look at the roots of her hair, and that should help you determine what type of person she is. Okay, so she's ginger, so she's a warm type. Let's wipe off her eyebrows and see. If she's a warm type, her eyebrows should be looking red, but no, we wipe it off and her eyebrows are gray. I couldn't completely get it in my head. I really felt like I don't like this industry. I want to do something else. Until I really got one client that came basically with rainbow eyebrows. She had done permanent makeup like 4 or 5 times, and
she had the blue, she had the red, she had the gray.
And a little bit of green.
In one area.
Yeah, so I started thinking to myself, how can this person be within such small space, an area of her face? She has suddenly such different tone. That one eyebrow looks blue.
So she's like me, summer, winter, spring,
everything.
autumn.
So I started to question really not the therapist's skills and not the client skin type, but really the chemistry of the pigment. What we place in the skin and how it affects the way you see it later on. So really it came down to the ingredients. And when we started the research and really looking deeply into what's inside the bottle, we very quickly figured out that there are two types of pigments
making sense.
Or inks in the industry that really gave you only the two solutions. Either the pigment would slowly be disappearing from the skin, leaving a grey residue or a red residue.
But not just the pigments. Pigment wasn't the only issue, was it?
But that was one of them.
One of them for sure. One of the big ones.
And the witchcraft theory of skin tones completely does not apply.
Okay, yeah. But this is where it hit us. Okay, this theory, it doesn't make sense. There has to be another theory that wasn't available yet. There was no other explanation. So we started looking at things and seeing how we can explain this to people, that the information that we give to them, to the students, is actually true.
But it's just so interesting that the permanent makeup, before we even entered it, already existed for about 20-25 years, and nobody thought about it before, that what you put inside the skin actually matters, same as the ingredients you put in your cooking. If you put something spicy in your soup, you will taste it. It's same in a pigment. Whatever you put in there, it will affect the results. So the way our pigments are different is that we completely change the formula. We switch the ingredients in the pigments to make sure they stay true to color, they stay more neutral and stable in the skin, that they are very safe, and we don't use any potentially harmful or carcinogenic ingredients.
And also we made it super easy for our students to be able to use these pigments, because the range is quite small of the colors, but all of them are usable colors and easily mixable together. So the color theory is simple, is clear, there's no witchcraft involved, it's very easy to understand. I mean, it's just made, it's made to be different.
Yes, and the different thing is the yellow molecule. We made it really big.
But how does that help?
It keeps the pigment more neutral, and that's the largest molecule that stays in the skin for a longer amount of time, instead of the red one or the black one that makes it look not very pretty.
It made a lot of the companies look at their pigments and think, so what can we do now, because this is the time to change. So we're really proud that, you know, we sort of kickstarted that moment in the industry where other brands started looking at their ranges and revamping them, because they felt like that actually isn't good enough and there are better possibilities out there, and that's thanks to Everlasting Pigments. So it's something that we're definitely extremely proud of.
So we make people think, but at the same time, the formula that we use for our pigments is unique to our company. We are the only company that has the right to has the exact formula, and to make our pigments even more unique, we use one product that's patented and only 3 companies have access to it. So that's what makes us unique.
The industry was really inconsistent.
It was.
Yeah, you would receive blades of different sizes. Every time you place once an order and it's one size, and then another time it's a different size. And one blade isn't the same.
We tried so many different companies, right?
Yeah, and it was just, there was no consistency.
There wasn't.
And how can you promise or guarantee good results to your clients when the tools that you receive each time are different, which means that you have to work differently and the results you get will be different?
The process started. It wasn't just simply revamping the procedure and selling it as our own. It was really building the company.
It was recreating,
from scratch,
inventing the industry.
Completely.
That
from pigment manufacturing to actually quality control, and demanding a new size of needles that people were also like, why do you need that? Well, I need it for my clients. I'm the artist, you're the factory, so just do it. It was a lot of headaches, a lot of delays, again, issues with product development. We had also some staff issues. Some people were not really working on the projects that they were assigned to. So there were a lot of obstacles on the way, and a lot of doors closed in our face because people didn't want to hear that we're trying to change the industry. A lot of the people that would already be in a manufacturing for the industry, they would ask, why do you need to change it? We just keep on manufacturing the same things for everyone. People just stick the label on it. Why don't you do that? Because this is not how we roll. This is not how we do things. We have a good reputation and we're going to keep it, and we will really change this industry for better.
We needed to put everything into order, and the first thing was making sure that the blades that the therapist receives is actually the blades that they expect. So we started making sure that they're the same diameter, that there are sizes available, or if there are variations in diameters and sizes, because there's different type of looks that will be created using different tools. So we started looking at that first, I think, so that they're sharper, because one of the big issues was they weren't sharp enough.
We introduced variety, the variety that was really needed. A lot of the blades initially were A, too big, and B, too thick. And all the hair strokes that a lot of the artists were creating were like really chunky, huge, and thick.
But also, we gave artists the opportunity of going online, seeing what size they want to get of the blades, the size, diameter, all of that, receiving it nicely packaged with the actual wrapping stating what blade it is.
Yes, so many things.
There was no guessing.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
The blades in the past used to arrive in like huge packaging, just like a plastic bag with some white packaged needles with nothing printed on it, not even information whether it's sterile or not. So if you took it out of the package, you no longer knew what size or diameter it was, right?
Yeah, and it was important for us to be running an ethical company. So besides obviously creating all of these innovations, we also made sure that the sterilization is happening and is done on all of the blades. And one way of doing that is, of course, getting the reports, is going to the factories and manufacturers, making sure that these processes are happening, in introducing color-coded indicators on the packaging, something that will tell the artist that the product is sterile and will only, change color if it has been sterilized.
What have we done so far? Okay, so when it comes to everlasting, absolutely the blades. So we introduced a completely new standard of blades, double sharpened, variety of different diameters, sterilized and safe to use. It's very important. Consistently good quality products that works.
Ethical manufacturing, and just making sure that what the artists expect they actually get
every time. Consistency.
With pigments,
we've formulated new pigments. I mean, people have been working with pigments that do not work for 20 years or 20 plus years. We made it. We've done it. People didn't think about it before. We created a new product, much better pigment that was very much needed in the industry.
So formula that's unique to us. Pigments that heal true to color. We have a small range, easy to understand pigmentology, perfect results for every artist and all of their clients.
Totally. And another good thing about the pigment is that we actually replaced commonly used preservatives that are not so good for our skin for a biocompatible mineral compound that's actually very good for your skin.
So non-carcinogenic, wow.
Perfect.
I mean, that's what you would expect anyway, but you'll be surprised.
From me and you.
Of course. And from there on, we moved on to disposable tools, making sure that the industry uses tools that are sterile on every client, which means that you don't need to be worried about getting some diseases. And I just don't want to get into much detail about that, but it is a real threat. Those things are still happening right now. So everything that we are trying to change in the industry, all of those things are still happening. Unstable pigments, bad blades, bad tools, unsterile products that actually go inside your skin. All of these things are real. And this is the reason why we're such ambassadors to the industry and making sure that we spread the standard. We try and make the standard contagious, and we see it happening. We want to make sure that quality tools and quality education is available to everybody, no matter who they go to. But of course, if they choose everlasting, we'll only be happy.
Because we really are on a mission. We're on a mission to change the whole industry, to ensure that anyone seeking permanent makeup procedures and anyone undergoing such procedures goes to a place, any place they choose, and that gets good results that are performed in an ethical and clean way.
But of course, it's not all just about the products. The technique has to be good too. And Monika, of course, is ambassador. She loves developing new techniques. Brow mapping, we know you for that.
Absolutely. It's really such a pleasant way to watch my student perform beautiful eyebrows each and every time, delivering consistently good results, because it really is a simple technique that works each and every time.
But we also forward thinking about education. We understand that currently we live in a very digital world, so we're trying to collect all of the content, make it available online for our students, make sure that our instructors are available online to talk to every single student and troubleshoot them at any time of the day, basically, because instructors are located in different parts of the world. So we're constantly working and also forward thinking of how can we make the education accessible, easy to understand, and make sure that it really does deliver great artists. And you can see that, on Instagram, if you're going to just type in a hashtag everlasting brows, you will see some amazing work, and that just shows that the education there behind every single artist is all about quality. So in conclusion, I'd like to say sky's the limit. Very basic and bold, and everyone has heard it, but the sky is the limit, and in our case, the future is bright.
So the plan is to continue to innovate, create better products, better services. New things to come are definitely coming from us, so keep
Some
on
of them
watching.
secret.
Some of them secret, but yeah, we need to.
A lot of them
keep
are
you
just
excited.
ongoing. So things that we're constantly, regularly working on are product development, courses, making sure that the education is accessible and available, that our company is ethical, and it's things that we're passionate about. It's our values, right? It's the things that we feel really strongly about.
Keep on working towards it, because every day you wake up and you have the same goal, to make the industry better.
Yes.
So there's much more to come from us. Keep on watching. Keep on looking out for new things that we'll bring to you.
And one way to make sure that you're always on top of the latest is just following our social media at Everlasting Brows on Instagram, and pretty much at Everlasting Brows everywhere else on all the big social media platforms. Follow us, because that's one way to stay on top of the industry, because we are raising the standard of the industry and we want you to be part of it. And one way to be part of it is just, of course, to join in.